Alright, we can all agree on one thing. Wrestling is like the greatest thing. The fact that these people can put on a 20-minute live-action stunt show without killing themselves is art. And poetry. Maybe magic? It's all three. And while we all kind of turn a blind eye to silly things like Irish whips, there are some things that simply can't be ignored. I'm Senior Siete for 7 Wrestling, and let's take a look at 7 fake-looking WWE things that expose wrestling. Now, before we get into this, we appreciate your support, so if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and double underhook powerbomb that notification bell. Also, Gordon Holmes, the guy who does all of my Senior Siete drawings, has released a graphic novel about pro wrestling. It's called The Bad Guy from Legacy Comics. It's a heartwarming tale of wrestling and marriage. You gotta check it out. We'd love for you to support him. He's done so much for us. You'll find a link to purchase this graphic novel in the description below. Number 1. The ref's decision is final. This one was in the news lately, and rightfully so. During the World Heavyweight title match between Damian Priest and Seth Rollins at the 2024 Money in the Bank PLE, Rollins hit Priest with a Falcon Arrow. Now, Rollins almost never finishes his matches with this maneuver, so everyone expected Priest to kick out. But he did not. The ref counted 2, then decided not to count to 3 despite Priest's shoulder clearly being on the mat. It looked really bad. The match continued as it was supposed to, with Drew McIntyre cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase, CM Punk jumping him, and Priest stealing the win. And yeah, that weird non-kickout was all anyone was talking about afterwards. So, who's at fault for the screwed-up pinfall? Well, who knows? Probably Priest. But the truth is, the ref should have called it like a real match. And that was the case in years prior. A prime example is the botched finish of WrestleMania 35, when the referee counted Ronda Rousey down even though her shoulders were clearly up. That was the finish of the match, but referee Zab Zapata got in trouble for counting her down. This SmackDown 6-man tag match was supposed to go 2 segments, but was stopped short after Ted DiBiase failed to adequately kick out of a 3 count. Although, in his defense, it looked like he kicked out to me. What we're saying is it should be up to the talent to make the referee react the way they're scripted to react. Now, in this case, maybe the ref deserves a pass because the pinfall would have been a booking disaster. That would leave us with the match being over, Rollins being the new world champion, Priest having to leave Judgment Day, Drew McIntyre would still have his Money in the Bank briefcase, and Punk would be just sitting there with nothing to do. But come on, Priest. You're killing me, Smalls. Number 2. Vince's last hurrah. In the weeks leading up to WrestleMania 38, word got out that Vince McMahon was going to be squaring off against Pat McAfee at the Show of Shows. Alright, we're listening. McAfee has done wonderful things with Adam Cole, Bay and NXT, and with enough smoke and mirrors, Vince is capable of being entertaining. But in the build-up to the big show, it was decided that McAfee would be squaring off against McMahon's new protege, Austin Theory, which was fine with us. Theory could definitely go, and we weren't about to mourn the loss of a Vince McMahon match. But then a funny thing happened on night 2 of the big event. After what was a perfectly serviceable bout between Theory and the popular sports analysis, McMahon decided that he had had enough, and now he was going to step into the ring to face McAfee. So he stripped down, did his best Crypt Keeper impersonation, then hit some of the worst clotheslines you're ever gonna see in your life. And for his finish, he then punted a football into McAfee and picked up the 1-2-3. It was pretty nonsensical that the same guy who'd just beaten a future US champion would lose to a bag of dust, but that's what was booked. And who booked it that way? Every maneuver in this horrific display looked faker than a He-Man villain. Cherry on top was when Steve Austin came out and hit one of the best stunners of all time, followed by one of the worst. Ugh, even Austin has to laugh at what a poop show this was. Now, legitimately, would they have put up with that performance from literally anyone else in the world? No. Oh well. At least the audience seemed to like it, so what do I know? But, oh, it looks so fake. Number 3, Crash Into Me. Wrestling is awesome because the talents are always looking for new ways to top themselves, but I'm here to make an argument there is one act that has never been topped and should never be topped. I'm talking about the infamous Hell in a Cell fall that Mick Mankind Foley took on June 28, 1998. Arguably the most dangerous fall anyone has ever taken in the history of WWE, Foley would fly off the top of the giant structure, crashing through a table below. Since then, there have been many spectacular falls. However, many of them have been aided by a gimmick stage or crash pad. And the result is, now, we're not saying these stunts aren't dangerous or difficult to perform. What we are saying is that they are fourth wall breaking in a bad way. Take a look at Shane McMahon versus Steve Blackman from SummerSlam 2000, or Chris Jericho in the climax of a 2021 Blood and Guts match, or Shane McMahon getting suplexed off of a platform at WrestleMania 35 by The Miz, although we will say this was much better than the match they would have at WrestleMania 39. Sorry, back to the point. Point is, these stunts are extremely dangerous, so of course there's going to be a crash pad. However, once you see the crash pad, the illusion is destroyed. So at the end of the day, the juice isn't worth the proverbial squeeze. And we're not suggesting anyone do these moves Foley style and risk your career or worse, your life. Even Foley was smart enough to use a gimmicked ring the next time he stepped into a Hell in a Cell. But either find a better way to shoot these things, or don't do them at all. Number 4, ladder construction. All right, kids, gather around the old talking stump. It's time for old Grandpa Siete to complain about ladder matches. Now, in my day, the ladder matches had one ladder, maybe two if we were feeling frisky. And aside from the super slow climbing of the ladder, everything made sense from a psychology standpoint. If you're unfamiliar with the term psychology in a wrestling sense, it means everything should be done as if the characters are attempting to win a wrestling contest. Say, for instance, you are participating in a match where your goal is to climb a ladder and retrieve a briefcase. You're finally alone in the ring, and instead of scooting on up those rungs to achieve your goal, you start building an advanced director set just for funsies. And let's not act like this is making the original ladder sturdier. It isn't. It's a ladder on a bouncy ring rope. We all know you're doing it because that ladder bridge needs to be there later on for a move that has already been planned. Now, don't get us wrong, there are ways to get ladders into interesting places organically, like at WrestleMania 21, where Christian was hit while he was bringing a ladder into the ring, and he kind of sort of accidentally on purpose put it in position so that Shelton Benjamin could run up it later. But often now, they'll just take a break to set some stuff up. Don't worry, everyone. This will make sense later. Yeah, it makes no sense, and it can completely take us out of the match. Now get off my lawn. Number 5, reality takes a dive. Oh wow, give us an athletic dive to the outside any day of the week. We love them all, from Great Sasuke's Flying Space Tiger Drop to AJ Styles' Fosbury Flop, amazing dives like this stunner from Dragon Lee. We love top rope maneuvers to the floor, like Charlotte Flair's Corkscrew Moonsault. These are the kinds of high-risk, death-defying moves that absolutely take our breath away, and we appreciate that the person who is receiving the move is just as responsible as the person performing the move for the proper execution of the maneuver. But one thing that just kills the illusion for us is when, just like a pile of dudes are just standing there, waiting for it to happen. How have you been? Oh, not bad. Oh, my youngest is starting preschool in the fall. Maddie? Really? I feel like she was just born yesterday. Yeah, they grow up so fast. 5 hours later. So what's the solution here? I don't know. Maybe don't host a friggin' tea party while you're waiting for some guy to jump on your head. Do a way better job of pretending that you're fighting. Just an idea. Number 6, physics problem. Some moves could happen in a real fight, like a super kick, a gut wrench suplex, a rear naked choke, and some things, are way less likely, like a moonsault or a vertical suplex or, I don't know, the worm, but they could still happen. Some moves just aren't going to happen without your opponent helping you out a bit. We've come to accept this. I'm looking at you, C4. I'm looking at you, Canadian Destroyer. We love you, but we know that you are a product of an overactive imagination. These moves are the sensation of cooperation, which brings us to the Hurricane Rana, or the Frankensteiner, whatever you want to call it. It's a bit of a stretch that you can grab someone by the head with your thighs and flip them over, but, I'm cool with it. And the Poison Rana, where you perform the same move to someone's back, you're pushing it. Seems like you're getting a lot of help from your opponent, but once again, we're going to allow it. But the double Hurricane Rana, sorry, my belief is like a rubber band. and this move simply stretches it too far back. I can believe that your thighs are so strong that they can grasp a person's head and flip them over, but strong enough to squeeze two people's heads together? Flip them both over? Sorry, you lost me. Look, I don't hate fun. All right, maybe I hate fun. Number 7, check your props. When it comes to foreign objects, there are some ridiculous things we're willing to accept. For example, we believe that certain wrestlers like the Great Muta and Asuka are capable of spewing a noxious mist from their mouths that can blind their opponents. But every time a taser has been used and a fake electricity sound is piped in, every time someone holds the end of a bat and a sledgehammer and hits their opponent in the stomach with it, and every time someone would sell getting hit with that stupid Spirit Squad plastic megaphone, oof. And what's even worse than that is when a crappy prop destroys what should be a signature moment. We all remember Shawn Michaels chucking Marty Jannetty through the barbershop window because fake glass is an awesome prop. Now, do you remember when Cora Jade turned her back on her tag team buddy Roxanne Perez? She brought her trusty skateboard into the ring and, yikes. Yeah, that is tough to come back from. Well, there's our list. Did we forget any other fake-looking WWE things that expose wrestling? If so, please leave them in the comments section below. Also, if you enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and double hurricane run on that notification bell. Just kidding. I hate that move. Check out the description for a link to Gordon Holmes' graphic novel, The Bad Guy. Until next time, I'm Singer Siete for 7 Wrestling saying bye-bye.